Berachos Daf Lamed Beis want to extend a heartfelt Mazel Tov to my daughter and son-in-law Meir and Elisa Jacobs, the bris of their son Naftali Moshe. It's very apropos. Today's Daf discusses the Tefillah of Moshe Rabbeinu, and Rashi explains that Naftali means Tefillah. So it's the Tefillah of Moshe Rabbeinu. The Gemara tells us that Klal Yisrael always has a good answer why they sin, because it says in the pasuk, "Ba'asher hari oisi," I'm the one, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that causes you to sin. Hine kechomer b'yad ha'yotzer, like clay in the hand of an artisan. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the one that molds us. It's His fault that we sin. V'asi roisi slei v'even, HaKadosh Baruch Hu should remove the heart of stone that He put in us. So it's His fault. Ves ruchi etem b'kir b'chem, I'm the one that inserts your ruach. And then finally, v'yispalel Moshe el Hashem. Moshe davened Hashem. The Gemara darshans El is al Hashem, which is a strong lashon, a lashon of hatacha, throwing a tefillah to Hashem like Chana did, which is not the best thing in the world. V'di zav. What's this place? Di zav. It's the lashon of dai zav. Enough of this gold. It's your fault, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that you gave us so much gold and silver that we sinned with the ego. Without that, we wouldn't be able to sin. The mashal is that a person had a very weak cow, a bony cow, and he fed him a lot, and then the cow turns around and kicks him. Whose fault is it? It's the owner who fed him, therefore he got kicked. Like a father, another mashal that gives his son everything, he bathes him and he feeds him, and then he gives him a lot of money, and he puts him by the door of the house of the Zaynos. It's the father's fault that they sin. The Gemara says when you spoil somebody, spoil a kid, you fill his stomach, that causes sin. And finally, HaKadosh Baruch Hu admits to Moshe Rabbeinu, he says, you're right. V'chesev yirbesi, I gave them a lot of money, a lot of silver, v'zav asal abal, and a lot of gold, and what do you do? And you made the avodah zarah called Baal. It's my fault. HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells Moshe Rabbeinu, leich reid, go down. What's this double lashon? HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells Moshe Rabbeinu, I only gave you your gadlus, your greatness to use for Klal Yisrael. Once I don't have Klal Yisrael, give it back to me. And therefore Moshe Rabbeinu became extremely weak. Until Moshe Rabbeinu realized that it's in his hand when HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, Heref mimeni v'ashmidem, leave me alone so I could go destroy them. Meaning, if you don't leave me alone, I can't destroy them. So Moshe Rabbeinu was mischazik b'tfilah. It's like a mashal where a king is beating up his son, and the king's best friend is watching in the corner, and he's scared to say something. But when the king tells his son, you're lucky that my friend is here, otherwise I would have killed you, the friend realizes that he has power, and he steps in, and he breaks up the fight. If the Torah wouldn't have said it mefurish, it would be usher to say, but the Torah says that Moshe Rabbeinu held on to HaKadosh Baruch Hu kaviyachal, and wouldn't let him go until he forgave Klal Yisrael. We say the famous pasuk on a tainis, Vayichal Moshe. What does it mean, Vayichal Moshe? It should say, Moshe davened, Vayispal Moshe. The Gemara gives us 6 options how to learn the word Vayichal. One is Hechilo. It's a lashon of to be mafzer, to be persistent in tefillah. Or Yachel, which is a lashon of a neder. If a person makes a neder, he needs somebody else to annul it. HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, I need Moshe Rabbeinu to annul my neder that I'm going to destroy Klal Yisrael. Or Melashon Chalal. Chalal is a body, a dead person. Moshe Rabbeinu said, Mecheni no mesifrecha, I'm willing to give up my life for Klal Yisrael. Or it's a lashon of Chal, to rest. The Midas HaRachamim should rest on Klal Yisrael. Or it's a lashon of Chulin, sacrilegious. Moshe Rabbeinu is telling HaKadosh Baruch Hu, it doesn't make sense that you should act in such a way. And finally, a lashon of Oichilu, it's a disease that heats up the bones. Moshe Rabbeinu said he davened so much that he got sick. It says in the pasuk, HaKadosh Baruch Hu swore bach in yourself. What does that mean? Had HaKadosh Baruch Hu sworn in the heaven and the earth, he, just like the heaven and the earth, he could destroy that shvuah. But since he swore in himself, just like he himself, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to last forever, so too is shvuah to Klal Yisrael, that they're going to be kekoich v'hashomayim, is going to last forever. But the an interesting pasuk. It starts off Moshe Rabbeinu speaking, and then all of a sudden it switches off to HaKadosh Baruch Hu speaking. Which one is it? It says, "V'tadaber aleim arbeh zarchem kekoich v'hashomayim." That's Moshe Rabbeinu. And then it says, "V'chol haaretz hazeh sharamarti." HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the one that swore, not Moshe Rabbeinu. So either you can learn that the pasuk in blue is Moshe Rabbeinu and the red is HaKadosh Baruch Hu, or you learn that the entire pasuk is Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu said, "I repeated over to Klal Yisrael what you told me to say, that you're going to give them the land, so you have to keep your word." It says in the pasuk, "Nebilti yichayos Hashem." It's a lashon nekeva, says the Gemara, that Moshe Rabbeinu said, the nations are going to say they became weak like a woman. You were able to protect Klal Yisrael against one nation, the Mitzrim, one king, and you did Moifsim, Krisyamsif, etc. But against 32 nations, you can't protect them. Says the Rebbeinu Shalom, at the end of the day, you're right. That's what the Umas Ha'olam are going to say. Solachti kidvarecha, that's what they're going to say. And wow is the Talmud who his Rebbe agrees with him. When a person davens first, he should give a shvach to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and then ask for what you need. Tefillah is more important and more powerful than good deeds, because no one is greater than Moshe Rabbeinu when it comes to good deeds. Yet HaKadosh Baruch Hu told him, Alei l'Reish HaPisga, go see Eretz Yisrael, because of his tefillah. Tainus is more powerful than tzedakah, because the tainus you do with your own body, and tzedakah is with your money. And tefillah, although it comes to replace karbanos, has more power than a karban. A kohen who killed somebody, that's the continuation of that pasuk, Yedechem dam mileu, a kohen who killed another individual can no longer duchen, can't do Nesias Kapayim for the rest of his life, even if he did tshuva. Once there was Churban Abayis, the gates of tefillah were locked. They could be opened, but it's difficult. HaKadosh Baruch Hu put a mechitza of barzel, an iron wall between us and himself. However, the gates of tears are never locked. As Rashi points out, Hashem always sees the tears. He doesn't hear tefillah. He sees tears. You just have to be able to that. He should be mekabel those tears. Rava never made a tainus on a day that was cloudy. He said, cloud, stop the tefillah. If a person lengthens his tefillah, as long as he does not ma'ayin in it, as long as he doesn't believe that Hashem owes him something and has to give him what he asks, then his tefillah will be in a skabel. But if he believes that his tefillah is so powerful that Hashem must answer him, he's ma'ayin in his tefillah, then he's going to end up with a heartache. And what does he have to do if he has a heartache? He has to learn Torah. If a person's tefillah wasn't answered, he should repeat his tefillah, as it says twice. Kaveh el Hashem, chazak v'yam v'kaveh el Hashem. There are 4 things that a person has to strengthen himself in. Torah, tefillah, masim tovim. This one is interesting. In your job, in your profession, you have to strengthen yourself. It says in the pasuk, Hashem shchichani. Hashem forgot about us. Knesset Yisrael tells Hashem, even if a person adds another wife, he'll never forget his original wife. So we rebelled against you, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. How do you forget about us? Says HaKadosh Baruch Hu, are you crazy? I never forgot about you. There are 3.6 billion times 300 million stars in the sky. I don't know, 16 zeros, quadrillions of stars. And they're all for your sake. And you think I forgot about you? It says in the pasuk, Tishkach isha ula. Well, can a woman forget about her own child? HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, I'll never forget about your oilos, ula, oila. I'll never forget about your korbanos. However, I do sometimes lose my memory when it comes to Averis like the Egel. I'll forget that, but I won't forget your good deeds by Sinai. The Hasidim Arishonim, the Mishnah says, would prepare themselves an hour before davening, but the Gemara tells us that they also prepared themselves an hour after davening, and davening took them an hour. So that's 3 hours per each tefillah. There's 3 tefillahs a day, that's 9 hours. When did they have time to chazer? They had a siyat shmaya that they didn't forget their learning, that they learned before they became Hasidim Arishonim. They had a siyat shmaya that their parnasa came with just doing very minimal. And finally for today, if you're a middle Shemon Esrei and you see a king says something to you, you don't answer him. That's the Jewish king. A Goyish king, you do answer. But if you see a king coming, a Goyish king, and you're able to finish Shemon Esrei quick, say it quickly and run. Have a wonderful day.